What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. And as this is the last video of the year, and I had to make this video, which is the books, let us say the best books I have read in 2022. Now I cannot compare each book which is the best, so I'm just going to state out the books which I liked, which I loved the most, and remember the story. Those other books are the best books for me that I read in 2022. Without more further ado, let's just get on with it. First one, which I would definitely recommend everyone to get, if you haven't got, I believe a lot of people have got it, is this one. Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. So, sorry if I butchered the author's name, but this book is just the one. Literally, just the best book you could have ever asked for. So if you ask me what this book is about and why do you think this book is super nice, you ask all of the readers of these books, of this book, and they will tell you one thing: you would never have guessed the twist. You would never have guessed the twist. And also I'll tell you a much of a summary, not with a spoiler but a little bit of summary. So it's a psychological thriller wherein a couple is present and the wife kills the husband, and therein they go about investigating why she killed it out and what happened. And then she's in a psychiatric ward, and many of the people have tried to talk to her, but she is not opening up. She's always silent. However, one of the psychiatrists, Theo, goes about investigating, talking to her. She slowly opens up, and as she opens up and how it goes about persuading her to talk about, and she slowly talks about it, crime, one by one revelations come out, and the end, the revelation is gonna blow your entire freaking mind. So if you haven't read this book, I do force you to read this book. Please go about reading the book. Now, second book which I would definitely recommend, and some people say it's good, some people say it's bad, it's a mixed emotion. However, I would go with my gut and I would say this book was the best one. It's a good book, it's a lovely book to read, and it always keeps you on edge. So if you haven't guessed it, it's got to be Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book is one of the best books I have again read this year. It had the thrilling aspect of the book to the levels, okay? Your adrenaline is always up through the entire chapter, and the chapters always end in a cliffhanger wherein you are forced to go on with the book, read the next chapters, go on about it, and it literally leads you to a place that's so immersive that it takes a while to come out of the book. And then there's always a debate. It's either team script or team, you believe the script or the book or something like that, but I don't care any of it, because this book is very nice, and follow whatever team you like. This book always keeps you on edge, okay? And if you don't know what it's about, again, Verity is, in her world, is an author, and she has been writing a book, and she's writing a good, beautiful series which is loved by all. However, there was a deadline in the book and she's not able to write it. So one of the new authors who has got the job to what to do is to continue with her work, and so she gets invited to Verity's house, and they get to give her a script wherein she needs to continue with the work of Verity and go on with the series. So what she does is she's found the script and goes about reading, and then when she was reading her script, she gets to know there were some letters of Verity, and she gets it out. And there's always a strange eeriness behind Verity. She's always like a ghost moving around the house, watching everyone in the house, but at the end she's completely normal, and she finds a letter and book. The author goes, so the author in the story goes mad, finding what she's about, what is gonna go about, and then she finds if she's maniac or anything of a psycho, and literal revelations come out. And this book keeps you in fix, like, is this true? I mean, is she like this or is she not like that? And hence the debate over team script or team book or something of that sort. So yeah, this book is definitely a to-go for all thriller readers to go about this one. So if you don't know, I'm doing it very fast because I don't want to go rambling about the story, because if I go rambling about story, spoilers would definitely come out. So I always limit my explanations about the book. So if you like this short kind of things, do fancy subscribing the channel, as it helps support the channel and grow the channel, and the video goes more to the people and more people watch it and they like it. So yeah, if you do like it, subscribe, like and comment of the books that you have enjoyed in 2022. So next up, which we have a sudden jump from the thriller aspect but not completely from the fiction aspect, is the sci-fi thriller. And if you haven't guessed the best sci-fi thriller for me, if you ask me who has written the best books, is this one, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Also, if you haven't read through Recursion and Upgrade by Blake Crouch, I would definitely recommend you to read. But if you just want to get to know about the author and how he writes it, this is the best book you would have gone for reading this book, okay? So Dark Matter is more of for science enthusiasts, and there's a little bit of physics involved. If you're more specific, to be honest, quantum physics. And there is a question wherein, let me try simplifying it for you. So it's not a physics class, don't get worried. So basically, for each and every second, there's infinite dimensions or multiple realities of the same second. For example, if in this second I'm talking to a camera, right, making a video, in another second I might be editing a video in the same second, in another dimension I would have just been sleeping because it's almost like 5:30 a.m. so yeah, or in another dimension I would have just been woken up doing something or the other thing. So it's like that. It's for the same second, multiple infinite realities, and that's what the book is about. And then that's why this author gets kidnapped, not the author, I'm sorry, the character gets kidnapped by himself from another dimension, comes to his dimension, gets kidnapped by himself, and he's punched to another dimension, and stories goes by, and it's a wild adventure how he gets back to his own dimension, meets his family and meets the alternate realities of him not meeting his wife, and his wife being his girlfriend, and different realities he meets up. So it's a wild adventure of dimensions and realities, and quite an adventure for you all to read. So it's definitely a book you should go for. The next book that I would definitely go on reading and would recommend is The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler. I've always been recommending this book throughout the year, and you should definitely read out. It's a book series, and the Jewell series, to be more specific. And this is one of the first books you have to get to read. This book, alright. And what this book is about is there's a crime happened, and it's quite a gruesome crime, wherein one of the, let us say, the person who have done the crime has been caught in the hospital, who has seen the crime, and they try to question him as to how the crime has happened. Could you please let us explain how this goes about? And then he's in quite a trauma. So Jewell goes about having an idea of hiring an hypnotist and goes about trying to find out the revelations. So the victim who was caught in it, he himself is the killer. And Jewell, the hypnotist, was able to take out the revelations. And what happens is the person is out of the hospital and is in a wild goose hunt to save his own life, save the crime, save the evidence, and also to hunt the hypnotist. So it's quite a gruesome series to have multiple belts of crimes taking place. First, the hunt of the hypnotist finding the revelations, what revelations are, what crime happened, and also a side note, a little bit of cult is involved in this book. So yeah, it's quite a good one to go about for this year, and I literally enjoyed this book. So quickly swifting off from the series, it's the next book actually. It's The Nightmare by Lars Kepler. Now, this series is super nice, okay? And all the books I haven't gone through. The second book I've gone through, The Nightmare. It's super nice, alright? The second book also bangs, okay? So this book involves a lot of politic activities wherein there's an ammunition deal happening within cross countries from Sweden involving Kenya to Sudan, and the deal was supposed to be illegal. However, evidence have come up saying these people are involved and it was illegal, and therefore the main guy who comes about doing the deal has a nightmare contract wherein he's gonna help you with what you need and also gonna take you with what you love the most. He's gonna take it off. and there's one thing happening. So a family is involved, and wherein everyone dies. They go on a remote island, and one of them survives. It's a goose wild chase, wherein almost the entire book, the main character runs escaping. However, Junalina is left to us about unwinding this political web, who's about behind it, and finding the killer, finding out why are they behind a specific person in this book, and why this entire story is such a big one, and why a lot of political aspects are involved in it. The thriller aspect is involved in it, and this book always keeps you on an adrenaline pump. So yeah, this book is definitely another book you would have gone for. If you haven't checked out these books, you should check out. Okay, it's quite a good books which I've recommended, because I loved it personally. So I believe you should also love it, because we all thriller people, we kind of like the same book. So yeah, do definitely go for it. Now, the next book which I would definitely recommend is by my most favorite author, one of the best authors I've come through, and I had a liberty and also a privilege to talk with her, not live, but at least on Instagram chat or private DMs, is The Night She Disappeared by Jewell. This book was definitely one of the best books, and what happens is it's quite a big story involved in it, wherein one of the teenage daughters, who is also a mother, gets disappeared long back ago, and it's been 2-3 years, or not exactly how was the time span, but it's been 2 to 4 years. And the mother, so let me just say the characters. So Tallulahs was a mother already at the age of 21, or not less than that, and she always takes care of his baby, never leaves her baby outside. She's just a very protective mother of her. And although she's a teenage and also as a mother, she has those wild dreams, so just to come out of the real household life and just go about, live the teenage life for a while. We all have that. So she goes about living the life of a mother for a while, and goes to live a teenage life. So she gets moved to a party. She's more forced to go to a party, so she likes it, enjoys it. She finds a friend, and they go to a party called To a Dark Place, which is a big house of a Tallulah's friend, and they go about partying. And what happens after the party is that she never returns back. It's been 2 to 4 years, and Tallulah's mom, Kim, she is been worrying about how it's happened, what happened, and she's been lost and never been finding for her daughter. And suddenly in 2018, or 4-5 years afterwards, they find a new couple comes in, Sophie and a boyfriend comes into this place, and they start my boyfriend finds a teaching job at a school, and they see a sign called dig here behind the backyard, and they find out some bones, and they find out some evidence which is linked to Tallulah's crime. So what happens is Sophie and Kim comes about joining hands together and find out what happened to the daughter, and at the end they find revelations, secrets, they unwind the crime, and they solve the mystery. Okay, let me give you that. They solve the mystery, but you need to see how they solve the mystery, what revelations come out, and what happened to Tallulahs at the end. Please do check out the book. This book is definitely the one you should again go for. I'm gonna say this all this time, that this book is definitely the one you should go for, but literally these books are one of the best, and you should definitely go for. Anyways, quickly swifting off to the next book is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Now, if you haven't known Gillian Flynn, one of her best books, Gone Girl, which is also a movie starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. It's a good movie. It's quite a physiological thriller wherein a wife goes about trying to, trying to trap her husband, and revelations come, how she goes about doing that. However, we're not going to talk about Gone Girl. We're going to talk about The Dark Place, okay? So Libby was a survivor of a murder. She was a very small child, and all of her family was killed that night, and she just survived hiding in the closet. So what happens is, after so many years, and Libby's big brother Ben was committed for the crime, and everyone thinks Ben was innocent, and they haven't found, and he was not the one who committed the crime. So what happens was, Libby, after long years, she tries to go about, she tries joining conspiracy theorists, and they all force her to know about what happened that day. They all question her what happened that day, but Libby had always promised not to go back and try finding out and telling that her big brother was the one. However, circumstances had forced her to check about what happened that day and try to find out the real crime out. So revelations come about. So again, there's some cult activity involved in it again, and also that is one thing that sort of people definitely love. And she finds about who did the crimes, what happened, goes about checking out what happened back in the day, and as the secrets and revelations came about, she's again in a run from a killer, and everything comes about and all revelations come around, and at the end everything is sorted. So at the end, I mean, everything is sorted. You should see what is sorted. You find out what happened on that day, how Libby survived, why was Libby survived, who killed the family, was Ben the real killer. You should all check it out by reading the book Dark Place, and definitely the thriller aspect is up the levels, and you will always be on edge reading the book, and it's an absolute page turner of a book. So definitely check out Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Next up, we got a book which again involves a little bit of horror aspect into it. I wouldn't say a little bit of cult activists again. I like a little bit of cult activities coming inside the hit thriller part of the books, where crime, cults come in. I like that part of books, but nowadays I have come to love about the trial aspects as well, because I love when revelations come about and how they find out the revelations. It's quite a journey. So I love the trial aspect as well, but nowadays that's a new thing for me now. But cult has always been an evergreen love for me. So aspect in a book, not that I personally love cults, okay, nothing of that sort, but a cult aspect in a thriller book is definitely the one I would always go for. So the book Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. So what happens is a new vicar is hired, and she's a vicar, has a daughter, come to a remote place from a metropolitan, comes to a remote place. The remote place has a history of burning girls, and they always let us say worship, or they always celebrate, at least respect the girls that have given up their life for the rights, for the village, some rights, which you should check it out, because I'm not spoiling anything. So I'm just telling you the premise. So everything is very eerie about the thing. Every household, every people in the village, there's something that everyone is holding back. And what happens to the vicar is she always gets visions of burning girls, and that always comes about to her. And there's always a horror part of this book as well. So always the vicar is in, but people don't accept her. Some accept her, some don't accept her, and everything in the village is dark and secret, okay? Everything is kept behind, and it's like a very, very strange place. And then the vicar is about like, okay, I'm going to check out what's happening. And what happens is she's getting threat messages every day to her, letters to her house, which is not welcoming to a vicar. And she's scared for her life. Now she's scared of everything, because the people are strange, the village is strange, it's a dark secret, the threatening letters are in her doorstep, and everything comes to her. And she finds about the secret about the village, what happened those years back ago, and everything is made out, and everything is unwound, and everything is sought through, and how she escapes all these things, and how she has a daughter which she has to protect, and herself to protect, and she's a vicar, and also why the previous priest had hanged himself. That's also a big secret she has to find. So there's a lot of revelations in this dark, sinister village, and you need to check out what exactly is happening, who was sending threatening letters to the vicar, what's happening, what is the burning girls history in the village, everything, and why are people hiding a secret. All you got to see, and all you want to find it out, is reading this specific book, Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. So we're almost at the end of the best books I've read in 2022, and the last book, but not the least, is The Couple at number 9 by Claire Douglas. So Safi and her husband move again. They're in a metropolitan place. They have discussed this a lot, but they have finally moved to a remote place called Skeleton Palace, and they have a house which is an ancestral house which belonged to her grandmom, which gave to her mom and then to Safi. Okay, and they have come to the house and they were remodeling the house in this remote place, wherein while remodeling the kitchen they come out to see a lump in the ground, and they start digging and they found 2 bodies. So the police have been informed. What happens, I don't know what, the police has been informed. They try investigating the crime scenes, and the 2 bodies have been dated back a long time ago, and when the dates have been checked out, it was a time when her grandmom used to live. Now the grandmom has Alzheimer's, and the police try to investigate the grandmom. However, the secrets don't come. But as soon as the story progresses, the secrets slowly come. What happened those days, and how the 2 bodies have landed up under her patio, and what's happening, and bodies turn up in a backyard, and everything comes up, and this family is entwined into a murder mystery, and investigations take place about the grandmom, and she's not able to tell the secret, and the secret is slowly being investigated by Safi and her mom Lorena about their mothers and grandmother, how they come about the mystery, how the police come about the mystery, how they work together to bring rise to clear out the mystery, how the bodies come out, and at the end they find out the mystery, what's going to happen, and all the revelations are made at the book. So the revelations that are made are quite twisting, and slowly the cards get spread, and you will see your cards being played, and it's quite an adventurous story, and how the thriller aspect has been leveled up. So it's like literally builds up, and then it's been exploded on your mind. It's like, whoa, mad shit has happened back in the times when the grandmother lived in the house. And yeah, this book has been quite an immersive world created by the book. Well written book, an absolute page turner, and a wonderful thriller to be read by any reader. And I would expect the people who read the book will be definitely loved by this. So that is the end for the best books of 2022 for this year, and this year was quite a good one. I came across very new authors, loved the book, and I've read a good amount of books, and have a good amount of book collections, and some good books in my collection I'm quite happy about. So I'm also enthralled, or whatever you say, for the next year, which is 2023. So yeah, all the best for 2023, all the best to me as well, and Happy New Year if you're watching it after New Year. If you have not watching it, so in advance, Happy New Year. But these were the best books of 2022, and you can definitely check out, and I'll put all the book names in the description where you can check out, and also click and check in Goodreads, see the cost. You can see the summary of it on Goodreads as well as on Amazon, and also have a check out in the Google reviews. So I'll put the link on that as well, so you get all the knowledge of what the book is about. So apart from me, that's all for now, and see you next time, and see you in 2023, and Happy New Year in advance, or if you watch it after, Happy New Year, and see ya.